What the Falcons do, we rise up. Welcome to Rise Up Reactions, the show we talk all things Falcons, NFL, Georgia sports, and in general, the sports news of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Lee Danny, the Golden Hard Dog, and a lifelong sports fan. It's been a miserable 4 weeks to be a Falcons fan, but I didn't really want this coming week, this Monday night, to be a must-win game for the Falcons. I wanted us to be comfortably in first place in the NFC South. Instead, we were sitting at number 2 and needing some help from other teams to take down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at this point. The good news is we have 3 games on our schedule that are very much winnable with one challenge along the way. Should be a challenge. But the way we're playing, every game's going to be a challenge. So let's jump into this, though. We've got week 15 picks. There are no more bye weeks. We're going to go through this relatively quickly, but I will be in Vegas at this coming Monday night game. I'll talk about it a little bit more when we get to it. I'm currently sitting at 132 and 76. 132 wins, 76 losses. Not great. Went 7-6 last week. A lot of my bold predictions are not panning out whatsoever, and things that I'm thinking are sure bets are not working out well. So don't go along with me for any betting reason, but if you just like watching the content, I appreciate it. Consider subscribing. It does help me grow the channel. We've kind of plateaued out, and if I don't get close to 500 by maybe draft season, probably not going to continue on with this. But hey, if you like my videos, please continue to watch. Please continue to support it and help grow the channel. Anyways, Thursday night, tonight, we have the LA Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. The Rams pulling off an incredible victory over the Buffalo Bills this past week. One that I said could go either way. I thought the Bills would win because they were playing better football. And my God, Josh Allen accounted for 6 touchdowns through the air and on the ground. It's hard to lose a game like that, and they still found a way to lose because their defense fell apart. San Francisco 49ers are reeling. They are looking to be the worst team in the division. They are probably going to fall to last place in the division after this week because I do have the LA Rams going into Santa Clara and taking care of business against the 49ers, keeping the race between the Seahawks, the Cardinals, and the Rams well alive while leaving San Francisco, the preseason de facto number 1 de facto possible playoff contender for the Super Bowl in the dust, falling behind, having a bad season, mostly due to injury. Now we're going to go to Sunday. We had Kansas City Chiefs at the Cleveland Browns. Nothing would make me happier at this point than for Cleveland to upset Kansas City. They are playing close, tight games. They're not the juggernaut that they've been, but they just haven't found a way to lose. Kansas City is a greater than 2-1 favorite in this game. I'm going to pick Kansas City. But again, Cleveland, y'all need something to cheer for. It's a bad time down there. I hope you get the victory. I don't think you will, but give me the Kansas City Chiefs here. Then we have the Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans. Cincinnati playing great football on offense, questionable on defense, but the Titans not playing well on any aspect of the ball. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow. Technically, their playoff hopes are alive. They're very slim, and I'm pretty sure that the door shuts closed after a few other teams win this week. But hey, they're still playing for something. If nothing else, they're playing for pride, trying to get to above 500. So Cincinnati Bengals, you got to work on your defense in the offseason. Your offense is perfectly fine, but you are going to be missing T. Higgins after this year. So you got to find some answers there. Then we're going to go to but I do pick the Bengals. We're going to go to the Washington Commies at the New Orleans Saints. Now, this will be a tough game for the Commanders. The Saints are not playing great football. They had a tight, close game with the New York Giants of all teams. So they're a very mixed bag team. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Kind of like the Falcons, if we're being honest. Just our mirror team down a little further in the bayou. But the Commies, they're playing pretty good football overall. They have the de facto rookie of the year in Jaden Daniels. Looking really, really good right now. They're looking like the best team or the second best team in the NFC East. I am going to pick the Commanders here, but I don't have a lot of faith in that. I actually think this could be a trap game for them where they do lose to the Saints. I don't want that to happen. I'm always happy for the Saints to lose, but I feel like this could be a trap game. It's an incredibly difficult environment in New Orleans. That is a loud stadium, and it's going to be a hard environment for a rookie, but I have more faith in their overall talent than I do in the Saints' talent at this point. So give me the Commies. Then we're going to go to the Baltimore Ravens at the New York Giants. Could be a trap game, probably not a trap game. Giants are in full tank mode. Give me the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think this is close. In fact, not only is it not close, the Baltimore Ravens are the minus 1,800 favorite here. So if you like long odds for plus 900 on the New York Giants, go for it. You're throwing money away most likely, but give me the Baltimore Ravens here. Then we're going to go Dallas Cowboys and Carolina Panthers. And I actually think the Dallas Cowboys are so bad and the Panthers are playing such better football, it's just not resulting in wins. I think the Panthers win this one. I had said at the beginning of the season a really good year for the Panthers would be 6-10. I didn't think they would have lost this many games already. So I think they're going to find their way somewhere in between what I thought would be a good season and then the worst case scenario, which would have only been 2 wins. So again, they're going to be fine long run. Bryce Young's finally stepping up. It looks like Dave Canales finally has a rapport going with him. But I do think that this is one where the Carolina Panthers win. They are currently the odds-on betting favorite, but only 39% of America has them picked. I'm with the 39% on this one. Give me the Carolina Panthers. Then we go New York Jets at Jacksonville Jaguars. New York Jets and Jacksonville Jaguars have the exact same record, but you're without Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville, and you are with Aaron Rodgers and a halfway decent Jets team, even though they're not playing like it all the time. I don't have a lot else to say about this game. I don't think either of these teams are particularly good, but I am going to pick the Jets here to screw themselves over in the draft that they're desperately going to need picks for. So yeah, New York Jets. Then we're going to go Miami Dolphins at Houston Texans. Miami, since Tua has been back, in the last 3 weeks, he has thrown for over 300 yards and multiple passing touchdowns in every single game that he has been in. He has thrown no picks in the last few games. I have faith in that offense. I think they're going to go into Houston, and Houston has been a mixed bag team. They are the favorite right now with minus 155, but I do think the Miami Dolphins still technically alive for a wild card spot. I think they will find a way to push into that wild card position because I just have that much faith in this team. Again, do I think Tua should be playing? Probably not, but he is a grown-ass adult and he can make his own decisions medically. If he were in high school or college, they would have pulled him out for safety reasons. He would never see the field again. But we're talking about the NFL. This is a job. You have a duty to yourself before anybody else, but you can make your own medical decisions, whether for good or bad. I see that happen all the time on my patients that makes decisions that I think are more or less not the best for them, but they have the autonomy to do that. And with that said, Tua Tagovailoa, very good in Miami. This was a game that I had circled early in the season as a very good one for late in the season. Neither of these two teams are playing to the caliber I thought they would, but part of that for Miami has been due to injury to Tua. Give me the Miami Dolphins, though, in this matchup. Then we go Indianapolis Colts at Denver Broncos. This is a must-win for Indianapolis if they want to have any hope at all of competing with the Texans towards the end of the season. But I don't think they're going to get it. I think Denver, the Sean Payton effect is finally taking effect. He got his quarterback. Bo Nix is looking serviceable. Their defense looks great. They're coming off of a bye. I feel like Denver is at home in Denver in the cold is going to absolutely railroad the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts will be fine in the future. They're building around their young quarterback. They're trying to get their core together. But the Denver Broncos have a suffocating defense, and they have a competent offense. Not the best, but a competent offense that will probably win this game. So give me the Denver Broncos here. Then we got Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Lions. And oh, man, this is tough for me to pick. The Bills are coming off of an incredibly tough loss. The Detroit Lions are still rolling, looking great overall here. Detroit Lions are probably the best team in football right now. But the Bills coming off of this loss with Josh Allen, I think they're going to keep it close in the AFC to try and fight for that number 1 seed overall. If they lose this game, they can kiss the number 1 seed goodbye. I don't see Kansas City losing 3 more games between now and the end of the season. But if they win this one and Kansas City loses, then it certainly puts them a little bit closer to taking the number 1 overall spot. Buffalo, I'm going to give the edge because of quarterback and because of the fact that they are playing well-rounded football. Now, their defense is a liability, and if they're going to lose the game, it's going to be because of defense. It's not going to be because Josh Allen is playing awful football. It's not going to be because he's turning the ball over or doing something stupid. It's going to be because they literally can't keep up with the Detroit Lions offense because their defense is giving too many points up on the board. So give me the Buffalo Bills. I don't feel great about it, but this is definitely the game of the week. No clue why it's not flexed into Sunday Night Football. It is stupid that it's not, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Then we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Philadelphia Eagles, the Battle of Pennsylvania, and both of these teams are over 10 wins for the first time, and I don't know how long going up against each other. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles, though. I just have a little bit more faith in them. It's in Philadelphia. These two teams hate each other from across conferences. So I do think this is going to be one that has a lot of heat behind it. I think it's going to be a fairly low-scoring affair. So I would say maybe like a 21-17 win for the Philadelphia Eagles because the Pittsburgh Steelers can move the ball when they want to, and their defense is very good. Philadelphia Eagles, their defense is serviceable, and their offense is very good. So going to be an interesting battle here to see who wins, but I do have Philly taking it in the long run. Then we go New England Patriots and Arizona Cardinals. Arizona needs this one to stay alive in their division, and I think they will get it. New England is one of the worst teams here. They are fighting for a top 5 draft spot. And if they had any sense whatsoever from a team standpoint, from a management standpoint, they would lose this game to give themselves better draft position, better draft capital. I know that the players don't do that. They are playing for contracts. They are playing for money. They are playing to try and better their position for the future. So players don't think about it in those terms. I know this from my conversations with one of the players who's semi-friendly to this channel, and Josh Harris. So players just don't think about that. They want to win. They are there. They're getting paid to win. But there is something about locker room mentality. I think they will be fine in the long run, but Drake May is too raw right now, and I just don't see that they can beat a Arizona good team or solid team in Arizona. So give me the Arizona Cardinals here. And then we go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the LA Chargers. LA Chargers, we need some help from you guys. Josh Harris, again, friend of the channel, former Falcon. We need some help from you guys. Y'all need to take care of business. Y'all took care of business against us, so it was a slugfest. We need y'all to take care of business against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Please. We have no chance whatsoever unless y'all do something, because y'all are the last game on the schedule that I think is going to give them a significant challenge. Otherwise, I think they are the Tampa Bay is going to run away with it. But give me the Chargers here. It is in LA. I think the Chargers are good overall. Ladd McConkey, hopefully will be back and fine. Chargers over the Buccaneers. Then we have the Green Bay Packers at the Seattle Seahawks for Sunday Night Football. This matchup has a lot of history behind it, but it does not have a lot of substance for current divisional races. Right now, the Seahawks, it pretty much doesn't matter what happens in this game. They will still be in first place in their division, regardless if they win or lose. Initially, I had the Seahawks winning this game, but man, I just feel like Green Bay, there's so much bad blood where the Seahawks in the early 2010s knocked off the Packers in spectacular fashion. You had the weird ref holdout game with the catch, no catch interception. You've had divisional games divisional playoff games where this has come down to the wire and put the Packers out after they've been ahead going into the end of the game. This one has a lot of history. Tom Grossi absolutely hates the Seahawks. He hates the 49ers. He hates the Seahawks. So I think that the Green Bay Packers are going to find a way to win this one and stay competitive in their own division. So ultimately, give me the Packers. I did initially, though, have the Seahawks. Excuse me. Would not surprise me if they won this one, but I will go with the Packers. Then we have the Chicago Bears and Minnesota Vikings. Yeah. I don't like talking about the Vikings right now. They made me incredibly angry. They avenged their 1998 loss to the Falcons that knocked them out of the Super Bowl. They absolutely lit us up. They destroyed us. Sam Darnold looked like an all-pro quarterback. And, he's going to continue rolling in Minnesota against the Bears, who are not a good football team. They fired their head coach. They're reeling. They are having a lost year with Caleb Williams, so they certainly have found their quarterback for the future. I think the Bears may be coming off of a bye. I don't remember off the top of my head, but either way, I think Minnesota has the momentum coming off of last week against the Falcons. Monday Night Football, give me the Minnesota Vikings over the Bears. Then we have the Atlanta Falcons at the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders are currently sitting as one of the worst teams in the league. They have the number 1 pick right now in the draft. They want the number 1 pick overall in the draft. Desmond Ridder is going to be starting for this team. This does not need to be a revenge game narrative for him. This needs to be a revenge game for the crappy play that he gave us for a full year and for the Falcons, this needs to be our revenge game on him to say, hey, look, this is the guy we replaced you with. He has the talent. He's struggled lately. 0 touchdowns, 8 interceptions in the last 4 games for Kirko. I still have faith in Kirk. I still believe he can do it. But at the same time, I wish we were starting Penix. If we had any integrity at this point, we would sit Kirk and start Penix. We're not doing that. It's Kirk's game to lose at this point, and God, I hope he doesn't lose it. For those of you who are making the trip out or who watch this and are Raiders fans, I genuinely appreciate you watching. I will be sitting with a few of my friends in, I believe, the 300 section. I'm trying to pull that up on Ticketmaster just so y'all can find us and say, hey, if you get a chance. But yeah, looks like we are going to be, section 247, row 9. So if you guys are anywhere around the Las Vegas area and are going to the game, feel free to come by and say, hey, I will be wearing a color alternate Matt Ryan jersey because I don't have any of the current players' jerseys. And I don't feel like wearing a Pitts t-shirt because he hasn't shown up for the last 3 weeks either. That probably has something to do with why we're losing, because guess what? When he's involved, we win games. So I hope Zach Robinson watches this and finds some way to get him involved, because otherwise this is going to be the Brock Bowers show all day long. For fantasy purposes, if you've got Brock Bowers, play him. Play him all day long. Even with Desmond Ridder throwing him the ball, this should be an okay matchup for him. I hope that Desmond Ridder goes back to how he was towards the end of his Falcons tenure. I hope he is fumble-rooski. I hope he is interception central. Probably ain't going to happen. He's probably going to have a career game against this defense, which went from being one of the best last year with most of the same personnel coming back, being one of the worst this year. Losing our defensive coordinator to the Jacksonville Jaguars was the worst thing that happened in the firing of Arthur Smith. I wish we had him back, but not Arthur Smith, but our defensive coordinator from last year. But it is what it is. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. And as always, rise up.